Now, Desiree, I would love to wrap up our conversation with some of the questions that our Sports Mvt community actually sent through to us to ask you about as well. I would love to start with a question from Dinewo, and she talks about the long-term serving kit manager of Banyana Banyana, who recently just passed on. Her name is Aletta Ngidi. How much will the squad, and I mean the whole football fraternity of South African football, miss this absolutely phenomenal lady?
Just thinking of Aletta and thinking of her and not going to be at camp. I think camp will never be the same. She was just not a kit manager. She was someone that you could go. Sorry.
No problem.
She was someone that you could go and sit with and just have a conversation if you're not having such a good morning or whenever. That you could just go there and sit and speak to her, and she would just, with her exuberance and happy face and smiling, would just make you feel better. She was someone that would start the singing in the bus, that would start the singing in the dressing room, and she would take a lot of pride in her work. A lot of pride in her work. When you walk into a room, everything is neatly stacked up, neatly packed. And make sure that that things would be there. But more than that, I think camp will be very quiet. Camp won't be the same because of that vibrant, exuberant person that she is, and she made you feel. If you came there for the first time, you would never know that you were there for the first time, because that is how Aletta made you feel. She loved to try to lift me up, pick me up always, and always put her arms around me and put a leg around me and hug me. And I would say, no, Aletta, don't do that. And if I look back at all the pictures and everything else, it's going to just be a different kind of camp. And I think we just need to remember her by performing well on the field and making sure that we do our craft to the best of our ability.
Definitely, definitely. Desiree, I would love for us to change the conversation slightly. I would love to remind you of the 2019 FIFA Womens World Cup. So Banyana Banyana playing their first World Cup as well. Marcus asks this question. He says, how was that overall experience? Because I think for the ladies, this is an international stage. It's a bigger competition. There are a little bit of nerves, but I'm certain there must have been one or two moments that really stood out for you as a coach and for the ladies as well.
It's something you can't really describe. Just the experience of being one of the countries in the world that are at the World Cup was something else. The level in everything that was done was top notch. The way everything was planned at the World Cup. Once you join, after having your preparation camp, you join the FIFA then. Everything is meticulous, everything is detailed, everything is planned. And when you get to the training field, all the equipment is already put out and you can choose whatever you want to choose. Everything is so on a high level. But the experience, I think that first game, walking out onto the pitch, my sister still said that when that national anthem is played, that we were going to burst out into tears, and I had a serious knob in my throat, and I was just looking across at the players, and I was just hoping that they were not overwhelmed, but they were ready. They were definitely ready. And I think that first 45 minutes against Spain was most probably our best football ever. And unfortunately, we could not get the result that we wanted. But we showed people, what it is that we could do. We need to just be more consistent. Once you've experienced it once, you would like to go back again. But it was an amazing experience.
Absolutely beautiful. Now, Kathy sent through this question, and it's more of a personal question about your journey. She says, as a child, were you interested in any other sports besides football? Were you maybe interested in like hockey or cricket or any other sports?
Look, I love football from a young age with all my heart, but at school, they didn't have football, so I played netball. I must admit I was a good netballer back then, but with all the rule changes, I'm not sure if I'm able to play the game now with all the rule changes. I actually did ballet at school. I was at the Ian group. I was actually on blocks. I also played hockey for the school. I did a bit of athletics at school. I also played cricket until football became a game that you play 12 months in the year. So I played all of those sports at school, but never really seriously went into another sport, except for football.
All right. Last question. This one comes from 𝗀₍₀, and she talks about the women's football fraternity. And of course, we love to sometimes ignore this point, but it's something that we need to acknowledge, that unfortunately women's football is not where it could be, is not where it can be. What message of encouragement would you like to share with the women's football fraternity of South Africa, just to take us to the next level? Because it's most certainly possible.
Look, back in the day when I was playing, we had one league in the Western Cape, or one league. Now you have some regions have development leagues, some have under 13, under 15. You have the regional league, you have the 𝗀cie league, and now you have the Hollywood Bet Super League. It's not where we want to be, but I think it's a step in the right direction, because the game is improving all the time on the field, But it's all about teamwork. I mean, I've never once dribbled the length of the field to score a goal without by myself. So we all have to play our part in profiling, ourselves as women's football, but also improving the game to take it to the next level. And here it's up to the administrators, the coaches, the players, and even sponsors. But I want to say one thing: whatever you are today, be good at it, and try to be better each and every day. So as a team, that is what we try to do. So we just urge on everyone else involved in women's football, to give it their best foot forward, to make women's football improve together, because we cannot do without each other.
Absolutely beautiful. Desiree Ellis, I would simply like to thank you so much for joining us on the Sports Mvt Insider. And of course, we as South Africans would love to thank you for the continuous service that you give to women's football in this country, whether that was back in the day when you were on the field, and today you are the head coach of Banyana Banyana. We wish you all the best on your journey as you continue to lift so many trophies in the future. And I'm certain that you being a part of the women's football fraternity will just take us to the next level. Thank you so much, Desiree Ellis.
Aaron, thanks for having me. I just want to leave you with a message to say that everybody must take care during this time of COVID. Until it hits you personally, or until it hits home, that's when you realize how dangerous it is. Stay safe, sanitize, and make sure if you take care, that you take care of someone else.
Beautiful. You're locked on to the Sport Mvt Insider, a podcast for unrelenting coverage of women in sport. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I absolutely loved diving deeper into the journeys of our athletes, coaches, and administrators to get to know them a little bit better than we do. Coming up next week, we bring you another athlete, coach, or administrator, and she shares her incredible and inspiring journey with us. Keep it locked onto Sport Mvt, where we celebrate women in sport.